Hello and welcome back to Wire Out Guns. Today we're going to be having a look at this Pietta reproduction of the Colt 1862 police revolver. Okay, so I've had this 1862 for about 12 months now, and to be honest, it hasn't all been smooth shooting, and we'll get to that a bit later in the video. On this being a reproduction, I'm a little confused, and let me explain why. The 1862 police models were supposed to be based off the pocket models, which were 31 caliber. And the way they upgraded it to the 36 was to put a big step in the frame and then a stepped cylinder in, and that's how they worked. This one has a small step in the frame, but nothing in the cylinder. Also, those were 5 shots, and this one was 6, so it's got me confused a little bit. I went on and did a bit of research, and from what I can gather, this isn't a reproduction at all. What this is something that Pietta have knocked together. I suspect it's a shrunk down 1861 Navy to look like a police model by putting these grooves in the cylinder, but from what I can tell, it's not a reproduction, but that doesn't mean it's not a good gun. Quick shout out to Shooting Sports UK. Without their support we wouldn't be able to keep bringing you these videos. New ones out every Wednesday. So let's get this on the table and have a look through some of the features. So, starting at the back, this gun comes with a set of walnut grips. These are a little plain, but I have seen better examples. The back strap, as well as the trigger guard, are made from brass. Now, in terms of size, anyone without really small hands is going to struggle with this gun. Just as far as getting, all 4 fingers round it. You can see my pinky there just isn't going on at all. It comes with a notch cut out in the base of the grip there, which corresponds to bolts on either side of the frame, and that's to attach an optional shoulder stock if that's something you're interested in. The frame itself is colour case hardened, at least the finish is. Whether it is or not, I don't know. There's a notch cut out in this side, and that's to help you apply primers to the nipples. Strangely, it's stepped for a step cylinder, but this one isn't actually stepped. This is a straight cylinder. What is interesting about this one, it's one of the few muzzle loading Colt revolvers that are cut out in between each chamber, just like a modern revolver, and that's just to reduce the weight a little bit. The trigger on this gun is single stage, medium strength pull. It's quite basic, but it works. The hammer is nicely shaped and knurled, so you get a good grip on that. Nice and easy to cock. While we're on the hammer, like most Colts of this age, there is a notch in the top of the hammer here, and that acts as your rear sight, so no aiming when the hammer's forward, but again, why would you need to? There's also another notch underneath here, and that corresponds to the little pins that are in between each of the nipples, and that's so you can rest the hammer there. That gives you the ability to load all 6 chambers up, and then not have to have the hammer resting on one of your primers and making it a little bit unsafe. The loading lever is held up by this little spring clip here. It's easy to remove down. And what's interesting about this one is, instead of rotating around a single bolt, this uses a rack system. So when you're applying a fair amount of pressure to load it, it's more evenly distributed, and obviously you haven't got a bolt that can shear off. The barrel is rifled and 5.5 inches long, and at the end there's a low profile brass front sight. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get down the range and see how it shoots. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I have had some problems with this gun. Straight after its first outing, it developed a problem and it wouldn't go into a half cock, so it was impossible to load. This went back to the distributor, and after some months, it came back to me, and it worked for a short time. After that, it developed a problem where the trigger wouldn't reset if you were to decock it. I don't know if you can hear very well, but there's one click and then two. That second click wouldn't happen, it wouldn't engage. So I stripped it down and managed to find the offending part, give it a file down, and that was fixed. That lasted for a little while again, and then the spring, which works the trigger and the cylinder stop, that sheared. So I had to send off. That took another month to come for a new spring, got that fitted, and this is where we are now. So it's not been great, but I'm hoping I've just been an unlucky one. And to be honest, my other Pietta guns have been absolutely fine, no problem with them. So just hoping I have been unlucky with this one. I am a little bit disappointed that it's not a reproduction and is just a gun that was knocked together. My aim is to have a full collection of black powder Colts, and this doesn't have a place in there anymore. So yeah, that's quite disappointing. But if you take away the mechanical problems I've had with this so far, it's not a bad gun, and it's fun to shoot. It handles very well, and I'll definitely not be getting rid of it anytime soon. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.